Hello everyone, and in this video I will give you a guide to clear the middle tower of Tower of Adversity, as a new update added new floors, but they are really difficult. I will try to make this as F2P friendly as possible, so without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's first talk about the Hazard Tower 1. The enemies here have 10% havoc and arrow resistance decreased, and have 10% glacier and spectral resistance increased. The main part is the second half. Casting Liberation will deal an arrow damage blast which is based on 120% of the character's max HP, and enemies with arrow erosion suffer 30% defense decrease. So this means that the best character for this floor is Karthethia, cause she has huge HP, which means more blast damage, and she uses arrow erosion, so the defense shred. However, if you have a well-built Karthethia team with Chakona, then that is one of the best teams in the game, so it's better to not use it and save it for the floor 3 and 4. Here you can use other DPS characters because this floor is easily doable with F2P DPS as well. The best ones are Havoc and Arrow DPS like Jian, Camellia, Frolova, Dungeon, Havoc Rover, but any other DPS except for Spectral DPS can work here since Fallacy of No Return has huge Spectral resistance. Here's a showcase of clearing with Havoc Rover and Sanwa team. For the next floor, the buffs are the same and everything that I said for the first floor applies here as well. The only difference is that you need to avoid using Glacier DPS characters since the enemies have Glacier resistance. The Sentry construct can get a bit annoying as it keeps flying around, so characters with a bigger hitbox are great here. I have previously used Camellia Sanwa team for this floor, but I will showcase the Shanglia and Rover team since it is more F2P friendly.
未来のために。静寂に沈め。
これが心。神聖を授ける。入力。
消され。逃がさない。
脳をかける星々よ。見えた。最高。
その力使わせてもらう。これも音の力だ。
見えた。最高。
対のちりを告げる。アドアストラ羽生。
消され。
これが僕の真理だ。見えた。
幕開けだ。
最高。
静まれ。
Now the real challenge starts from this floor. The first buff of this floor increases the total damage of the resonator by 5% after 60 seconds have passed, which sucks cause there will be no buff for the first 60 seconds. And after that, it keeps increasing by 5% every 5 seconds till 60%, which means this buff will fully stack when 2 minutes have passed. But the main buffs are the second and the third one. Heavy attack damage of resonators are increased by 30%. Casting Liberation gives a shield of 3000 to characters which can be triggered every 4 seconds. When the shielded characters get a buff, they take 10% less damage and get a total damage increase of 16% for 6 seconds and can be stacked up to 3 times. Which means if you can regenerate shield 3 times, you get 48% total damage increase. This floor is clearly made for Augusta and Yuno who can shield themselves constantly and keep the buff uptime. Others can only trigger it once with their Liberation from the first buff. Another one is a buff for enemies. The enemies take 10% less damage, but this buff is ignored as long as the characters are shielded. I know I said this is an F2P guide, but clearing it with F2P units is really tough, unless you are like a hardcore player or a dungeon main. Obviously for this floor Augusta is a goat, but if you have the top team comps like Monofusion, Kartetia team, you can clear this floor. Not Zani team cause the enemies here have spectral resistance. With Jian it may be possible since the floor gives heavy attack buff, but he has low damage compared to the newer DPS. Or if you have sequences of characters, that will be possible too. Here's a showcase of brand Monofusion. I am not quick swapping much, just make sure to prepare few of the forte stacks of Changli during Lupa's rotation. And I made quite a lot of mistakes here. You can replace Lupa with Varina or Shorekeeper in this team.
この中の鳥は誰？もやし凱旋の歌をこの槍に濁流を払いのける。火の雨が降り注ぐこの身を。
アジは俺に任せろ。クライマックスだ。
いい連携だ。
より盛大に。演技
任せて。
お手の物さ。
烈火のきらめき。
And for the next floor as well, the same I said for the third floor applies here, except the enemies here have fusion and glacial resistance, so it can be tough with those teams. Augusta obviously is the GOAT, and Karthithya and Zani team can also be used. Brand team may be difficult due to the Dragon of Dirge, but I think it's possible. Here's a showcase of Augusta team in this floor.
怒りました。
お見せします。
死にたいのか。期待通りです。消してやる。これはいかん。
共に戦おう。無駄なあがきだ。胸を張れ。太陽の輝きに。一撃でフォアマル。手はずは任せてください。整っている。進化をお見せします。
怒りました。消してやる。死にたい。灰になれ。これはいかん。
世が出よう。セブンヒルズのために。手はずは整っている。これぞ王道の勝利。これで終わりだ。花よ。痛いな。飛んでけ。進化をお見せします。
怒りました。燃えろ。
手はずは整っている。
静かにしろ。死にたいの。
征服を始める。もらった。一気に攻めるぞ。手はずは整っている。栄光をセブンヒルズに。正義を生め。手はず任せてください。整っている。守らなきゃ。
怒りました。燃えろ。消してやる。
手はずは整っている。
灰になれ。これはいかん。
共に戦おう。隙を見せたな。これぞ王道の勝利。一撃でフォアマル。手はず花よ。整っている。
And lastly, these are the builds of all the characters used in this video.
おらん。
わかった。あなたがそう望むのなら。
わらわの策と力、あなたに預けよう。公平な戦いを 怪我しちゃいけねえ。
And that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.